We don't believe in labels at Macca's, like dinner or breakfast, so we're getting rid of them. Now you can enjoy dinner or breakfast whenever you want it. McDonald's all-day menu, available 24/7.
I mean, come on. If the last game was slow, this was a slugfest from the get-go. We're looking at 30 kills in 26 minutes.
Yeah, for anyone that subscribes to the Book of Spawn for League of Legends, even though I casted the LPL, I'm a big fan of like slow it down, gain control, fight over something meaningful. In my opinion, Kindred marks are not on the meaningful list. Like Baron buff, meaningful. Dragons, sometimes meaningful. Turrets, very meaningful. Kindred marks, meaningless at that stage of the game. But Spooks, I love him, had a very different opinion on when he should be fighting. And every mark that came up, he just like sacked everything and just jogged there.
He was farming them like he was storing them for winter or something. It was nuts. And I mean, but the thing is, farming the marks, he gets 3 deaths. Every one of those first 3 deaths actually went badly for Chiefs. Every engage there, it was almost like a bait every time. He dies 3 times and he's still OP by 10 minutes.
Yeah, bait, strong word. I would say order following and like catching the throw a little bit. Like, good word. It was like, when you saw the first crab, you were like, oh, he wants to farm marks. Because he had mid lane being pushed in, bottom lane being pushed in. He faked bottom gank and got bot lane a little bit of tempo, a little bit of movement, and then was like straight away on it. Like, I want this. Like, he gets flashed on. He immediately, like, full bottom side jungle available, immediately goes back to top side and is like, okay, I'm going to take this one. Dies, gets Swiffer chunked out, but somehow they trade there as well. And I think that this game was like just jockeying for position. And the thing that happened in this game was that teams refused to seed where they were seeding in game 1. Where Order were like, okay, we're not strong at the moment. You can have our topside vision control in game 1. This game, they're like, no, like we fight here. And where Chiefs were like, you know, Baron's not up and available. You don't have a real tank. You can start it and we'll check afterwards, but like you can head there. They were like, no, we're staunching you on mid lane wave. Like there was a very staunch game coming out. And the problem is you can staunch for so long, but as soon as Vladimir gets 3 items, like you can't staunch a Vladimir. He goes under you. Like you can't keep him out at all. And Jimmy, when he one hit 3 people in the mid lane team fight, was just like rolling over the top of the Chiefs. And I think that the Chiefs kind of underestimated at that stage of the game how much damage Tally was going to do.
The Chiefs had the right idea, though, it seemed like, going into draft, that they went, well, we're going to draft aggressive. We're going to see what happens. Did you even know that Claire plays Yasuo?
No, so Claire playing Yasuo like really caught me by surprise. Plays a little bit in solo queue, but like I assume everyone does because he's just such a fun champion. Haven't really encountered it in a pro play. It is good into Zoe. They know Swiffer likes Zoe, so I think that was really good scouting. And Volt kind of said before the game that he was very confident in the preparation they've done. I think that's hats off because that certainly was a game-winning pick. I think that as soon as you give Swiffer 3 kills on the Zoe, the matchup should flip, and it kind of did. And then Claire scaled up after some good team fighting. But that was one of those games where they didn't have good setup for it. There was no Gragas, no Lee Sin, nothing coming out of the jungle like that. So they wanted Claire to be able to split push. The reason they had Galio is Galio can kind of staunch the 4-man unit mid, duck into the side of the map that Claire's split pushing on, and no one would have been able to touch Claire. Problem is that Order have shown time and time again this weekend that they refuse to play split push against you. They'll give you the turret. And then they'll just try and go harder with their 5-man unit. And I think that Chiefs saw that yesterday against Avant and kind of calculated, said, we can buy into this a little bit. Maybe we can push them a bit harder. But Order just making very good decisions at the right time on Summoner's Rift at the moment.
And Swiffer playing a very, very good early game. There were some mistakes there in mid, but would you say it's the best game in the Gauntlet for him so far?
Yeah, I would, because he was under extreme pressure, right? He's playing into a hard counter pick, in my opinion and Russ's opinion, so you've got to take that on board.
He has no idea what Spooks is doing for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly right. His jungle is dying around him, like... Tally is on like a hard carry, but Vladimir needs time and items, and Rumble's going to be able to push in. So he's kind of playing 3v1. And the top side of the map is just like creeping in on Swiffer. And then all of a sudden, like bottom lane breathes some life into the game. He gets a couple of kills as well, and it does start turning around. But I really respect when players can do that mental fortitude to weather the storm, knowing there is like sunshine at the end of the tunnel when you're going to be able to get to that 3-item mark. And that pressure has been put on Order a lot. You know, you're better at 3 items. Get there, like go. And I think that so far they've risen to the occasion, and nothing like this game.
So let's talk about Chiefs, because I was excited about the fact that they were playing super aggressive at the beginning, and you know, it made for entertaining gameplay. But it also felt like they were playing scared. They were like making panic plays.
Yeah, I think panicked is a better way. I don't think they're really scared. I think they want to throw fists, but
More reactionary then.
Yeah, Order is drafting comps that do stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Chiefs are drafting comps that allow you to make the mistake and then punish really hard.
Yeah.
And then when Order weren't making many mistakes, I mean, Swiffer did face check a couple of times this game. So in those situations, like Chiefs started Baron, baited Order in, killed a couple of them, went back to Baron, killed a couple more of them. They didn't get the Baron, but they made up like
45 minutes though.
Yeah, they made up like 3,500 gold in that period.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say the Chiefs and the Bombers at their best are letting the game come to them and like really punishing. When Order said, okay, let's slow down, the Chiefs were like, once again, like that staunch mentality. Like, okay, cool. We need to kind of force a mistake. We're not going to do that by flashing on them. We're going to play a little bit more aggressive. We're going to play a little bit more in their face. And then when Order kind of played that way back, it kind of was like the Chiefs were like, oh, crap, we didn't expect them to just group us 5 and run into us. Like, we expected a different answer. And I think that this isn't, I mean, Order hasn't played this well. Like, to call a spade. Like, if you're Chiefs and you played Order 3 times this year and you've scrimmed against them the whole year, they're a known beast. And now this Gauntlet, Order seems to have elevated somehow, somewhere. And like, you're still in the back of your head thinking, you know, in week 5, when we approach mid lane like this, they cede control.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh crap, they're like fighting us for it this time around. Like, what's going on? So I think that a couple of those misnomers are being broken right now about Order, and it's catching teams by surprise. In saying that, I think the Chiefs did really good to recover that game, because that game should have been over at like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And at 30 minutes, like, it was still pretty even.
Absolutely.
And then Order did get the Baron and close the game out, but like some of those fights were so touch and go.
It seemed like Swiper was not too involved there in the early game. Who was the standout on Chiefs for you that game?
I think that Claire had a really, really impressive performance. I think that Swiper and Ayla are the two that are kind of going missing for me. And I think Raze and Claire are elevating their gameplay. They are big game players. They always have been. And I think that if anyone can kind of lift their floor and allow them a platform to launch off, they just need one of their utility players to play well. They're going to be able to really carry these games. Like, we're at 2-0 right now. I'm still shaking, like, upstairs. I'm still yelling, like, really, really loudly. Like, this is a team that until their Nexus explodes for the 3rd time, like, I'm not going to take anything for granted, and I don't think anyone on Order sees it that way. So I think that, you know, get Swiper on a hard tank. Like, he's played a Bruiser, he's played a Mage. Just sack it, go back to a hard tank. I don't know if they've taken red, but give up blue.
I just got word that Chiefs have taken blue.
They've taken blue. So that's what I was going to say. So give up the red side.
Yeah.
Take blue. Get the best AD carry for Raze. Like, he is a hard carry. Get him the Xayah.
Yeah.
Like, Dream's taking it away from him. It's Dream's best champion, but it's Xayah is, like, Raze's best champion. Get that for Raze. Play the aggressive, staunch AD carry, and then just get Swiper on a tank, get only on a tank. Go back to what was working for you, you know, early on in the season. I think that this could still be the start of a terrific series.
I mean, obviously, there's the champion choices, there's the gameplay, but there's also the mental hurdle now for Chiefs, because they are facing down the barrel of the gun here, that ought to have their foot on their throat. But it's a very big throat. And so what do Chiefs do mentally to be able to turn this around?
This is when your leaders come into play. Like, I would be very surprised if Volt is sitting there like, we're going to change this in draft and we're going to do this. Like, I think this is a moment where you let everyone sit down for 2 or 3 minutes and you go, guys, breathe it in. You know, we came together to get it to a grand final and potentially win this thing. Right now, backs are against the wall, but, you know, we need to stay together. We need to play our style of League of Legends. And I think that's where Swiper comes into play. I think that's where someone like Raze comes into play. Get the boys fired up. Juice was really good at doing it back in his day. The mirror talks.
From what I could tell on Twitter, he's still good at doing it now.
Yeah, the mirror talks were like really, really good for Sin back in the day. So I think that, you know, this is where your coaching staff has done their job. They've got you 2 really solid drafts, and you kind of botched them, to be honest, if you're the Chiefs. I think that you look now at the leaders in the team, and it's like, guys, this isn't good enough. Like, with all due respect, if they lose to Order 3-0 today, that's not good enough. That's not Chiefs League of Legends. They want to come out, they want to smash it. And I think their proud captains like would be really pushing that, like, you know, we got to go out there. We got to really give them how we got to push the tempo of this game.
And so then what's the advice for Order? Because they're now in a situation where they can taste it. They can taste getting into the game next week with Bombers. They are 1 game away. How do they cope with this pressure, which arguably could be more for them because they could throw it?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, there was always that fool's hope for Order. They came together and they were like, we're a good team. 5-2, like, we've got it. They started believing and it fell off the biggest cliff, like into Mount Doom style. And, you know, now they've finally crawled their way back there. Smeagol's just jumped on Frodo out of the dark, bitten his finger off or something. They just need someone that says, hey, guys, like, we made it this far. Like, don't change anything. Like, we've played a red side game. It was a victory. We're 100% on red side, you know. All those memey things, like, really calm players down and, like, fight around control, stay calm, scale up. Tally at the moment is a legitimate 1v5 player, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, get James on a counter pick, which you can on red side, scale into late game, let him do the job. Ronan and, Dream and Jake are playing so incredibly well in the bottom lane, batten down the hatches, they're going up against a terrific bottom lane, but if they weather the storm, I really do think the top side of the map have the Chiefs covered right now.
All right, the advice for both teams is just, boys, do what you do. I am so tense. Can't imagine how you feel. I can't imagine how the 10 guys in those two rooms feel. There's only one way to find out. It is with the McDonald's Champion Select. So let's throw it to the desk with Rusty and Pyra.
Well done, Nick. Boy. I just wanted to say as well, because those two talking on the couch, I actually just wanted to bring up Sport. You could hear him shaking in his voice, but the fact that he just got through a full segment is the sign of a true professional.
It really is.
The most nervous I've ever seen him in his entire life. And he's done Worlds Finals.
Yeah, well, at this point, I mean, there's good reason to do it. I mean, Order might be 2-0 up right now, but it's still a tough task, even against the Chiefs. They got to put it away a third time in a row.
And that's the thing. Sport mentioned this, and I was going to mention this, so I'm glad he did. The stage day players. You put Claire on a big stage and say you need to carry. If you tell Claire his job is to 1v9 and everyone else on your team has joined Order, he says yes and does it. That's the type of clutch player that Claire is. When you put Raze on a carry, you put him 40 minutes into a game, 10,000 gold down, and say this is a team fight that you need to win. He always wins that team fight. He does these things. Those two players are miracle workers when they have no right to be. They're just that good. But it's the rest of the team of the Chiefs that really needs to step up. The auxiliaries that need to step up when it matters the most. Because right now, they are falling behind. And that's exactly where Order are proving to be too strong. Tally has been a monster.
He absolutely has been. Now as things switch up in this game, swapping sides, Chiefs to blue. They banned the Zoe away from Swiffer for the first time this series. First picking the Braum for Ayla as well. This will give Order a chance to go for the Xayah Rakan combo, however. Will they do it? Sylas been left up, though, and it's into Tally's hands.
So for what it's worth, Braum is actually an entirely neutralizing lane for the Xayah and the Rakan. It's specifically good into the Xayah, though, of course, having the door for the feathers. So Rakan's still a very good option here. People do love playing Rakan into Braum. I would not be shocked to see that from Order, but with Sylas left up and available, I mean, it does make a lot of sense that you'll go towards this pick. And where I am curious is what do the Chiefs play top lane into that Sylas? Because there's expectations that a Ryze, or, something like that, of course, Ryze being banned, is available in mid lane. There are picks in mid. But top lane, Swiper's always got a set champion pool. He's not always known as the mage guy. He's the tank player, and Sylas loves that.
So Order definitely did the research well to prep for it, forcing on this side this different kind of pick and ban as things have moved around here. It does mean that the Sylas falls into their hands. Lysandra and Zach comes through for Chiefs here, setting up for a fair amount of engage. Over to Order's side for the last pick of this first phase. Wouldn't be too surprised to see the Rakan, but Order taking their time before they do lock it in for Jake.
And it's really hard to look at this draft right now and say that Order are going to lose this game, just from those three champions alone.
Even if you take the 0-2, and just cover it up with some duct tape.
That's exactly. In a time chamber, in a theoretical world, in a vacuum, this is just a really good draft at the moment. It's about how do they finish it out, however, because they've got engage, they've got damage, they've got the mobility of a Sylas. He can go between two lanes. The flexibility is there through the draft. Aurelia is another champion that they could even consider and look towards. Vladimir as well. The Chiefs have gone for the List. List can be flexed if Swiper is willing to play that champion. They've got engage, they've got follow-up. This is the setup for a composition where Raze can hard carry as well. You may see something like the Caitlyn if he wants to be super aggressive, but against Xayah Rakan, a non-mobile AD carry is a risk.
And Order getting a chance to ban out a handful of AD carries as well. They now take the Draven away in addition to Kai'Sa. So despite the fact the Chiefs were on blue side, they didn't opt to pick Raze up a pick early on. Something you talked about on the couch could be beneficial instead. They fill out the rest of the map, and now Raze champ pool gets hit a bit.
Absolutely, and the Vladimir that I spoke about as well, taken off the board. Aurelia, the other one I mentioned, of course, it's just flexible, but Tally has been known to play some other champions, and with jungle and top lane not locked in or confirmed for Order, the Urgot ban is a very smart one at that, so denying some picks here.
I wonder, Chiefs can still go for the Yasuo again here and flex that Lysandra up to the top. They have two knockups on their team already, and they could still lock in a lead. Well, Lee Sin, no, because they've got a Zac. Excuse me. But we'll talk about that in a minute because Order take for Spooks. The Sejuani, a little bit of tanky front line there.
Absolutely. The Sejuani, the big tank, the engage tool for the team potentially. But more importantly, just a lot of health is the Varus.
Comes in for Quinny K.
Varus being locked in here. Now, oh, and there's the Kled, of course.
Okay.
Swiper.
All right.
Don't be shocked by this one. You know, some people will look at the Sylas matchup and feel pretty comfortable being the Sylas, but when you're a Kled main, you can do whatever you like into Sylas, and Kled has actually been seen by Kled mains around the world as a favorable Kled matchup.
Always trust your own champion pool, your own comfort level. If you are the rock in the top lane, that is no exception. Last pick comes in here. It is the Syndra for Swiffer. So a little bit of changes in that mid, some changes in the bottom lane. Chiefs sticking to their guns for what could be their final game. They will need to reverse sweep Order to make it to a date with Destiny up against Bombers next week in the finals. Order looking to sweep them out of the picture entirely in this game.
And there was a game earlier in this split, if memory serves. It was Order against Gravitas, where Hayri locked in the Syndra in the mid lane. Order had Zac and Alessandra, and they made his life a living hell. The amount of gank setup that you have is so high that even the cleanse doesn't often save you, and if you use that once, there is the biggest mark upon your head. So Order, they've picked a winning mid lane, isolated 1v1 matchup. But if you bring the Zac into play, there is some risk there, and that's a very dangerous thing they have to contend with. Swiffer will have to play out of his mind, because not only do you want to win the lane, you need to not die if you're winning the lane, and when you win, you push.
I feel like if you're watching this game, it's just like last time. You want to be watching these junglers. Only is going to be a big part of it early on. I think Spooks is going to be able to do a fair bit as well to help move things forward, and probably going to be defending Swiffer.
Yeah, the other place that I will be curious to watch how this pans out is Raze. He's picked the Varus. Now, Varus has always been a pretty strong control AD carry, you know, has the ultimate for engage, has got the potential of the on-hit build, but he also has the potential of going for the lethality option here, and that is what I'm curious to see if he goes towards. Now, I wouldn't expect it, but if he wants to win lane, if that's his primary purpose, then absolutely he could. He could keep Dream and Jake down, but he may want to go for that on-hit build because the damage is necessary against the front line, against the Sejuani. But you'll probably see that through his Keystone Runes of choice, and as you would note, he's not going lethality.
All right, no lethality, so none of those shenanigans. But for Chiefs, they are backed against the walls right now. 2-0 up in Order's favor as they look to start on a level 1 play. Tally on the bottom side. And Order just need one more game to make it to the finals for the first time in the Org's history. Force the flash out of Ayla. That's a good start there.
And you've got to know better if you're the Chiefs. That is predictable. Every single time Order has that Sylas. Of course, the side of the map changes for them, but the play is the exact same. Nobody wants to early ward in League of Legends. You feel like you've left too many gaps in control, especially in the first rotation for junglers. But if you don't, and the Sylas finds you, you've flashed instead of warding. And I feel like the trade's always worth it as they go again.
Yeah, now this time Tally finds Claire, even though he did take the damage early on. Forces another flash.
How many flashes can we force at level 1 just by being Sylas?
A lot. Apparently that number is at least 2. And now Dream has Raze walk into his brush. So keeping track of it, 2 flashes burn to kick things off. 1 in the mid lane and 1 in the support role. So Chiefs already starting with the disadvantage here.
The mid lane one is actually very significant. Of course, it does mean that Claire may go for the claw as soon as possible. I believe he started with a W there as well.
I thought Swiper might be going in a little deep. He actually just throws the ward down onto the Krug pit.
Yeah, so Swiper actually always does this. It's very nice. The ward that he places at the Krugs is because he knows that Sylas is leashing for the red buff, and he can take the 1v1 trade in that tri-bush anyway. It's more of a variant on what the Urgot of Tally did. So instead of taking the fight in the bush, he chooses to get vision at the Krugs, and it's a late ward, and it's very good vision, because if Spooks doesn't go for those Krugs, you have to presume he's gone Raptors into bot side or Scuttle, but you've got to ward at Scuttle anyway.
Now, whenever there is a Sylas in the game, since we don't often get to see him, he's banned quite a lot of the time. Always want to take stock of what he's got to work with as far as hijacking ultimates. And it is a smorgasbord available for him right now. Everybody on Chief's side has ultimates that he would want.
He's got very good ones. Of course, his biggest primary function right now is, can I survive the laning phase? Because if yes, then we're going to have a pretty good time on Summoner's Rift. Sylas has always been regarded as like better Lissandra in the mid lane 1v1 matchup. So there was always a chance where they put that towards mid and take that, but Swiffer going confidence as we hold that thought.
Ooh, bit of a Scuttle fight here.
I think Spooks now wins that.
Yeah, Spooks is pretty happy cooldowns were there, and you can see Tally was already starting to trend towards that side. So with the ward down, that'll be spotted. However, Scuttle control goes the way of Spooks. Claire is in trouble. Still no flash, as you said early on in this game.
When junglers spot each other, it means that mid laners are actually free to start using their spells. One of the biggest reasons as to why games go so crazy is Spooks just headbutts him and doesn't get over the wall.
Ooh, boy. Only going to be a little delayed on his blue buff. Swiper is actually going to be called in to help here, and Tally's going to join the fray. We might be in for a little skirmish. Bear trap on a rope. Flashes over. That is the bear. And blue buff is aggroed in all of this.
Tally
the chain's getting whipped up. Tally going forward, looking for only. In fact, they found the damage onto both him and Swiper. Swiffer going to join the fray. Scarl's popped off. And Order.
The Claire is
away.
in the most trouble here of all.
That's a flash forward, scattering the weekend. Tally is going to pick it up. First blood actually goes the way of Swiffer.
The Syndra picking up the first blood, still no flash available for Claire as well, and suddenly this early game blows wide open. It's not just tank battles, it's about lane priority. And that lane priority in mid lane means a little bit too much. Claire can't afford to walk over. They should just be disengaging and sacrificing the blue buff. But the cost of that sacrifice is so high, the Chiefs, they still choose to take it. And they are made to pay for that. They get the flash, however, out of the jungler and the top laner of Order, so the opportunity to fight back is available, but that's a dangerous start to give over to someone like Order with the form that they're currently in.
You are absolutely right about that one. Big start for Order. 1,000 gold to lead. First 5 minutes of this game, a 2-0 lead on this series. They are within touching distance of the finals, of upending Chiefs here. They can taste it. And Order are just in absolutely rare form.
Stun's going to be on here as well.
Two-man!
Both of them.
Oh, nice job on that scout of the week.
They're
Only turn
turning.
back around. This time they look for Spooks. The damage could be there. There's a great collapse from the rest of the Chiefs. In fact, 4 members brought to the party. Only is going to claim the first kill as Jake and Swiffer try desperately to walk away.
Oh, that stun was close to connecting. Swiffer's still alive as he does get stunned down, but
another scatter.
Dream's here now.
They found Claire this time. The fights just keep on going. The heal comes through. And now it's going to be Order forcing Chiefs away. Look at those health bars. They're so low. Swiffer just looking for a stray ball. It's only back again.
Just constant back and forth. Such a delicate balance right now. The constant skirmishes, the constant fighting. Swiffer.
And they turn to Claire once more. Jake picks up the kill. So Order even out 1-1.
And 0-2 is the mid laner of the Chiefs. This is getting worse and worse for him. Swiffer just getting constant leads. And the thing is, it's not just the deaths. It's the experience difference in this middle lane. Look at everything that Claire is missing. Look at all of these waves, these minions that'll be lost. It'll be level 6 soon for Swiffer, in contrast to a level 4 of Claire, who is walking it back to lane.
And elsewhere, things aren't going a whole lot better. You have CS advantages for Order on the top and the bottom side.
Tally just hit 6 and Swiper is still 4. Thankfully for him, he'll catch the wave and tick over to 5. But those experience leads actually force priority and force tempo around the map. And as it stands, Tally has vision priority. He has the level advantage. And if Zac comes up here, he's probably just going to walk away because that Zac is still in the level 3.
That's really going to slow things down on the Chiefs side. They're going to have to find answers and find them quick. Really, just Order are playing out of their minds. And I wonder if this is even their final form, to be honest.
You know, as someone who had to suffer to Order yesterday in the Gauntlet, this makes me feel a little bit better. Because Order are just playing absolutely out of their
minds. I mean, they've done it against Mammoth, they've done it against Avant, and they're doing it again against the Chiefs Esports Club. And you know, this is what running the Gauntlet looks like, Rusty.
And that's the thing, you know, if Order showed up to the Gauntlet in their regular season form, they probably wouldn't have made it out of the Mammoth round.
They barely made it into the Gauntlet. I mean, the team that they're on the verge of sweeping assisted them in.
But they have gone above and beyond expectations, and Chiefs are now the ones that need to really dig deep. And that's not just about digging deep with in-game skill. It's about mentally digging deep right now, especially as someone like Claire, 0-2. Really struggling in this game. It is against an opponent that is very strong, very fed. The item advantages that he has as well. This doesn't get easier for Claire, but his responsibility in this team is still very crucial. He is the magic damage, and he is 0-2, so the opposing team can just stack armor if he doesn't step up. That was a Kled ult, by the way.
Yes. Charge!
But it wasn't the real Kled ult.
It was Tally. I wonder, wait, so normally he's sort of like rolling in on Scarl? I wonder what it looks like when
You're just
Silas
a specter of the champion.
So he just has like a ghost Scarl.
He just looks like Kled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not as exciting as you want it to be.
I mean, some of them are pretty exciting.
It really, like, all that happens when you use those ultimates is if it involves movement, you just become that champion for the movement. Which is a shame.
Yeah,
It'd be very
that is a
funny to
little too
watch
bad.
Silas actually like
Just
sprint.
like bouncing on like a giant Scarl ball.
I was hoping he'd like Usain Bolt.
Yeah. Just going. Well, actually, I feel like he'd be more like, you know that like, that thing that people are doing where they're, oh, hold on, I'll go back to it in a second. Because it looks like Only's going for the play down onto the bottom side. There's Jake looking to knock it up, but Dream is left alone for a second. He gets the Ignite onto Ayla as Spooks looks to come in.
6.
That's Chiefs really making a big play in the bot side.
Yeah, and it's a play of necessity as well, and it's Raze that's able to make that play happen. Little intercept potentially there from Swiffer, not going to find the mark. Bot lane is the saving grace. Raze, he will do everything in his power to win this game, and Raze is a freak. He is so good at League of Legends that giving him any kills is giving them the potential to win the game, and that's scary.
It's a good start for the Chiefs bottom lane for sure. That gives them a little bit more to work with. The gold lead still at about 1,000, still significant in this early game, but Chiefs trying to arrest the momentum best they can. Spooks is going to chase Only out of his own jungle. Meanwhile, Swiffer looking to push Claire back even further. It's just lots of movement around this map, Only going up towards the blue side. Tally's even going to challenge him for it as he dashes forward and gets the abduct, the abscond. Now he's on to Only. The chains keep on whipping, forcing the blast cone away.
Nothing
Order,
is free.
Own it.
Nothing is free on the top side of the map when Tally is here. Swiper was already demounted on his skull there as well, so the coward ran away, which means that Tally gets the entirety of the lane prior to move towards the blue buff, and the timing, brilliant. The blue buff given a Tally as well, so it does not get better up there.
No, it does not. Tally's making a run of it. And speaking of running, yeah, what I was going to say is I feel like he's more like one of those Naruto cosplayers that just runs with his arms behind him. As we got another big fight down on the bottom side. Dream's caught out again, so Raze is going to be able to find a second. And now they might even be able to get further, looking for Jake. He just walks away. Barely.
Ayla, I don't think that was ever in range, super tragically for him, of course, but they don't get the kill. The second kill, they still get the first one. Dream now 0-2. And during the regular season of the OPL, you would always look at the bottom lane of Order and say, if you want to beat them, you need to beat them in this area of the map. The Chiefs have put everything towards that in this game.
Trying to get what they can. Turret plate does fall. 10 minutes in. Chiefs' one advantage is this bottom side. Gotten 2 plays now. Off the backs of solid ganks with Only. And
They
just
have
better 2v2 play.
Honestly, they have so much to kill him, though. You know, Raze is not going to be fighting a regular front-to-back game of League of Legends. They have a Silas, they have a Syndra, even the Rakan being able to flash on top of his face as well. And he is a low mobility AD carry that will be so flash reliant. And honestly, will need the QSS as well at some stage to survive. But if he does, the damage will be significant. It just requires a masterclass from Raze in AD carry. And what better AD carry to show us what he's made of.
Order do get a fair bit of advantage here while the backs had gone on for Chiefs. The Infernal Dragon has been started, pulled out of the pit even. It's pretty low, but so is Spooks, unfortunately, and they're going to need some assists. It could be a smite fight going down as Only is here. He actually just hops away, opts out of it, so Order picked themselves up the first Infernal, I believe, of the series.
Yeah, no opportunity to get in there Only. Perhaps could have looked for the steal, but opts away from it completely. Doesn't want to take the risky decision, and what is the value in risk when 0-2 down?
Uh-oh,
Jake is stunned.
Flash, everything lands on top of him. Raze taking kill number 3. We see the power of the Chiefs AD carry. Spooks is here. Trying to fight this out. Chiefs might just go for the fight. Now he's on. He's gone.
Yeah, it's the bot lane dive. Dream has to leave. There is no value in him staying under that turret because he would just be killed as he stood there. Raze has the big item spikes too. Now 3-0. And Claire is going mid.
Unleash the power onto Swiffer. He's trying to get the heck out of there. Claire taken pretty low, but meanwhile, there's still another fight going on in this river, and that is a big old quickness coming out of Jake, but will it be enough? Only flashing away. Swiffer taking down Claire off screen as it happens, and that Rakan is just duck, diving and dodging, but Chiefs are still making moves for the play here. Low health bars, but no one else has gone down. Tally on the front line looking for more. Swiper pulls out the pocket pistol, I should say. Spook comes back forward.
Got him.
And that's going to be the Zach Blobs going down. Spook's getting the kill. Swiffer, the claps, the turn once more. Order finding the fight they needed. Swiffer taking the kill onto Swiper, and they've got even more damage. The feathers are flying, and Order come out ahead.
And Raze flashes aggressively just to get a kill 4-1, but they shut him down. They ace the Chiefs at 12 minutes. Such a back and forth fight, constantly bickering who's going to make the play. And Only and Spooks are the two really duking it out where the difference is made. Spooks being able to get the blobs out, and suddenly the fight goes the way of Order.
Oh boy. Right now, Order are putting on such a show here. 3,000 gold lead at 13 minutes. Infernal Dragon in their pockets. The only threat that they seem to be having to worry about right now is Raze. He's got no summoners. Here's that fight again. They just did not stop until everyone was dead.
Yeah, Jake tries to charm everyone up he possibly can. Honestly, he does connect with all of them. So very well played from the support of Order, being able to scrape away with 0 health to his name. So potion running, he'll be relevant. Now look at Spooks and Only, because as everyone else is trading health bars, no one is committing. But as Only tries to look towards getting over the wall, perhaps, waiting for those cooldowns, he's just taken down, waiting for mana Spooks. And then for the follow-up on this fight, the fact that Jake stayed alive with 0 health to his name is the fight win. No matter how hard Raze tries there, the Varus ultimate being stolen.
And we're not done with fights. Swiffer is going to get the heck out of there. I think he's going to get rooted down, though, and Chiefs collapse on top of him. They should be able to shut him down, and that's more gold into the pocket of Quinny K. It's a shutdown on Swiffer.
It is a one-man army from the Chiefs against everybody from Order right now. The first death of the game for Swiffer, but keep your eyes on Raze.
All right, got those Chains of Corruption on, looking for Dream. The damage is there for Raze. They get the bounce back, and that's a shutdown. This time it's picked up by Only, and Jake, he's limping away. Do they have the damage to finish him, or is he leading him on a wild goose chase? It looks like it's going to be Claire coming through, and he just tries to give it over to somebody that won't have as big of an impact. But they end up deciding to give it to Claire anyways.
Eventually.
Still walking, Only will take it.
Only decides he's had enough. He's going to get sick of trying to chase that kill that never happened down there in the bottom lane, so they give too much time for Order on the top side. They're sprinting up, however, Order. Kled has the ultimate, and watch how Order plays this. They should probably back away and respect their opponents having the numbers advantage, and they do.
Walking away from it this time. Things are still crazy. 15 kills in 15 minutes, Rusty. Game 3 of the penultimate game of the OPL Gauntlet here in 2019. Couldn't ask for much more.
There is just so much fight in the signs here. The Chiefs, they will go down swing if they go down at all. Raze has something to say about that. I think that much is for certain. And Only now 3-1-2. After the start that he had, definitely bouncing back in this game. And that's the thing. We needed one person to step up from the side of the Chiefs and the auxiliary members. We needed a jungler or a support to step up. They both are playing a lot better in this one. And they're empowering someone on their team. While it isn't good for mid, while it isn't the best for top lane, they still have a win condition.
Chiefs, though, big expectations on this team. They need to start by getting a win back up against Order. Order might be red hot running this gauntlet right now. But Chiefs, they cannot afford to not drop another one. It looks like the big fight's coming through. It's a big old charge in Order. I don't know if they were ready for it, but they are ready to turn it right around. Dream takes out Claire to kick things off, and Swiper is just going absolutely ham into the back line, but he's run out of teammates right now. Raze and Ayla are there. However, Order strong enough to turn around. They get the abductives gone. Looking for Raze, trying to take the damage onto him, chunking his health bar out. Spooks gets that final shot, and Swiper is still going for it with the violent tendencies. The pocket pistols there. However, it's another ace.
Order just continue to win these team fights. That was so close for Swiper getting his mount back, however, and maybe getting himself out. But Order, they get the team fight, they get the mid lane turret, they get the gold lead. And how good is Tally?
What an absolute beast. Those chains landed exactly where they needed to, and using the Kled ultimate against Chiefs.
And they do this without Raze nearby. He's running down the river, buying time as best they can. Chiefs Dream super low. He goes down to Swiper. The second Raze gets here, just keep your eyes on Tally, because he's able to hit the chains here. Long range, max range as well. And that's why Raze goes down. Just that simple. That single member steps up. And Swiper does get the kill, is about to remount, but goes down.
He's doing all he can, big swips for sure. But for right now, Order's still winning these fights. 2 aces in 17 minutes as well.
That was definitely a battle of the top laners, that fight, but you have to remember that the mid laner and AD carry of Order had done so much damage. You know, Swiffer free hitting that entire time is 5-1 and 6. Even though Dream dies, he actually hits a full feather combo on 3 people as Syndra stuns them. And, you know, this game is still well and truly teetering on the nice edge, but Order have so much control over Summoner's Rift. And if they just kill Raze, that's all that matters.
He is the team fight win condition for Chiefs. He's gone down twice now. Still 2 items. Still very powerful. Blade of the Ruin King, Quinsu's Rage Blade. But if Order can shut him down, then they can certainly win those fights, and it's coming up aces right now. Order controlling this mid lane. They have the prio. Possibly looking for the Rift Herald. It was started earlier in this game, but had to be peeled off as Chiefs spotted them out. But they don't really need to take it at the moment.
It would do wonders for them, however, breaking a side lane turret instantly. They're looking for top lane, so you would expect they want to go for Rift Herald, but they would rather stop the Chiefs from letting them fight for it.
It's been another one of those low tower games, high kill games, and, well, I mean, high kill is an understatement.
I'm so here for it.
It's amazing. This is some knockdown, drag-out League of Legends. You
Sport
can't ask for
sits
much
there
more.
and he's like, you know, his team's called Order. They don't want to play chaos style of League of Legends. They want to play slow and methodical. But as someone that loves creating chaos in my team, let me tell you, this is my League of Legends right here. I'm a big fan.
I'm glad you stand it. Looks like we got ourselves another Rift Herald fight. Swiffer around the side has Flash, and here comes Spooks. The teleport's coming from the opposite side. The claw's not taken as they turned on to Swiffer. This is still an aggroed Rift Herald as Swiper's coming in to try to make the play here. This is going to be the chance for Chiefs to try and shine. Looking into the back line, taking down Swiffer. No, he doesn't fall. And now the second wind coming through. Tally's an absolute madman. Spook starts out by taking down Ayla. Swiper's going to fall and only has got no friends left to defend. Dream even coming into this one. That's going to be the Zac bouncing back, but he brings Jake, and that's still dangerous. It's a 2-for-1 trade.
And somehow during all of this, Dream just picked up the Rift Herald as well, so hardly joins the rest of the fight on the backside. Chiefs, they teleport in. They use their flashes forwards. That was the fight they needed to win, and they don't.
Every time, it looks like they're going to make a solid effort. They're going to put in a big play, but Order just outplay, and here is the fight again.
And the Varus ult hits, the Braum Q hits, and Swiffer simply flashes away. Tally is the person to watch. He steals the Varus ultimate, gets the Aftershock, and just goes in with Jake, and basically one-hits the AD carry of the Chiefs. Someone that is the MVP of this team right now. They need to keep him alive. Out of the fight means that they do not win the fight, and just that simple right now for the Chiefs. They are in real struggle street right now with all the kill threat that exists against Raze.
And there is so much riding on the line in this game because if Chiefs can't pull it off, they are swept out of the Gauntlet. Chiefs have not missed the OPL Finals since 2017. This is huge right now. Order have already put in the performance of a lifetime, but they keep it going. And now Tally 1v1ing on the side lane. These two top laners, man, they are real scrappy.
I mean, to put it simply, this is the Order that you expected to see last year when they had the superstar team put together. You didn't get to see that from them. They had Jake, they had Dream as well. And suddenly they find themselves in playoffs after a shaky regular season. And shaky, I feel like, is an understatement. They went 1-6 in the second round robin during the regular season, losing to every team except Direwolves. And then they bounce back like this. You would not believe it.
You certainly would not. What a story this Gauntlet has been so far. Order looking to run it all the way to the end. Dream heading up to the top side, trying to cut off Claire. He should get his back away. No, it stopped! The Blade Caller. Claire's going to be in trouble. Look at Jake predicting it! Oh, man, it's just too easy.
There's all the feathers there as well, so no problems whatsoever. Kill secured. Order, they stop the recall. They do a blind, and then they're able to pick up the kill for it. They knew he was basing, just not exactly where. And now the Baron's on the cards. They could just hide in the vision. They don't even necessarily need to start it. The Chiefs have to check this regardless.
And they're going to do it. Looks like Order are going to be ready to peel off, though. They go and charging straight into the wall of Ayla. Only trying to flank around the side, but this is just absolute destruction right now. On the front, Order cannot be stopped. I don't care about your pocket pistol swiper. That is going to be the near wipe here. And Order right back to Baron business.
And an absolute massacre right there. Order just get the Kled ultimate. They steal it from Swiper and they use his signature pick against them. They take them all down. Only was sitting on the flanks. And you can see Tally's hunting, trying to find that Zac. What pushes he in? What they don't know is he's conceded this completely. And it's just a free Baron and they've earned it.
I mean, they paid the iron price for it. If last game was a boxing match, well, this one's the kangaroo kick straight to the chest. Chiefs are in trouble.
This Baron may well be the thing that ends the game for them as well. They are pumped. Right now, I just want to see Spooks in the player camera for the rest of the game, if you ask me. He's the man that gets yelly when they win team fights. He's the one that will pop off.
But look at that. He's calm, cool, collected right now. And you've got to think how big this is for the boys from Melbourne.
And you can't tell me, Pyra, at this stage in the game, if you're Order, that you think you've got it in the bag. And here's why.
Absolutely not.
Raze exists. And now, there's no matter how many times I say this, it will still be true. He can win.
It's what Spawn said. It doesn't matter until the Nexus is down for the 3rd time. Order have done it twice. They're making a great play of it, but there is always that potential for Raze to be the hero. So keep your eye on him. He's got himself a QSS, try to survive a little longer here, but that has delayed some of his other item buys. At 23.5 minutes, Order, they've got the Baron buff, they've got the Dragons, they've got the fight, but Chiefs are still mustering, ready for battle. Look at Claire on the flank.
That is a big flank from Claire. They don't have vision placed, and Claire actually knows it, only unfortunately has to ult, but they're looking.
Pulls Spooks back, and Spooks, excuse me, Tally, but he just doesn't care. Meanwhile, the rest of Order take down another tower. Here comes Claire. Who is he going to ult, though?
He needs to find Dream. He needs to find Swift, and they're going.
It looks like it. They get the 2-man quickness on, and Only's going to get popped down before Claire can even get the play on to Swiffer. He's going to be able to get out of that real quick like with the cleansing play, and Spooks making an escape as well. Order just cannot be stopped. There is no chaos that can deny them.
There's no health remaining, however, from Order, so the Chiefs on this reset, they get the home guard buff. They would sprint at the Order boys. So they'll take the inhibitor, and they'll have to back away. They'll have to reset, but an inhib is still a victory, and that is still a big momentum swing for the Order lads. They are in the driver's seat.
They certainly are, and they're running this one all the way into the end. It's a massive gold lead of 8,000 plus. There is still the threat. There is still the possibility from Raze, but it is getting dimmer and dimmer. That hope is diminishing by the minute as Order are knocking on the doors to victory, trying to shut the Chiefs out of the finals.
And Raze was free hitting in that last fight. If that was an even game state, Chiefs may have aced them. You know, they had the flank, they had the tanks in front, they gave space to their AD carry, which is hard to do when it's a Varus against all of the damage, all of the gap closing that is there. This next fight, wherever it ends up happening, there is a lot of summoner spells missing from everybody. But Raze has Flash, and Tally has Flash. So does Swiffer. Those 3 members, they're the ones you have to look at. Because even though Tally is 0-3-15, if he finds the chains onto Raze, it's over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he doesn't have to get the kills. He's still been a part of so many of them and so many of these plays anyways. And you know how Order are feeling confident? You got a Medjay Soul Stealer in the pocket of Swiffer.
If Swiffer stacks up 6 spheres on the ground and just flash ults Raze, I think he's out of the fight. He's got a Merc Treads and a QSS. He has magic resistance.
You can't QSS that.
But that's just too much damage. You cannot QSS damage.
All right, Chiefs trying to deny this push on bottom side, but they've been forced to send Claire to contest mid as well.
Only spotted.
Here's Tally around the side as well. Looks like there's the channel for Only trying to hop. Looks like he will opt to go in for it, denied by Spooks. And he goes bouncing back without anybody to show for it. That cannon creep still doing work.
Brilliant from Spooks. They know exactly where the Zac has to be. The positioning's correct, and he just presses Q and interrupts it.
All right, Baron buff is down, but it doesn't matter as Order just keep on moving in. And look at this, Tally on the top side, Tally in the mid, I should say, still pushing minions forward.
He's got the
Steals Alessandra ult. They've got a stun off onto Ayla. Order backing away, denying the engage attempt. Meanwhile, just chipping away at inhibitor number 2. They get it, and they get out.
The attempt was cute there from Spook, something akin to LCS plays that we have seen this split, but he doesn't actually get to split the wickets there, so he just finds the tank.
As Bryce might say, big swing, no ding.
I would say big swing, rather large ding, just not on the target you were after.
There's not much of a ding then, is it?
Big clunk.
There you go. Doesn't have the same ring. Oh man, but Chiefs, every time it looks like they're going to be able to make a big play, Order have been able to deny them. This team is playing so beautifully. And all they need to do is knock down the Nexus.
What's the next Baron? 1 minute and 20 seconds should be the deciding factor in this game. If Order get the Baron, you would say that is it. That should be game over.
Chiefs will have to fight him at it.
Chiefs will have to stand and deliver at that Baron. But Order, with the amount of control they have, with the gold lead that they have, very much poised to just suffocate their opponents out, control the wards, don't even give them entry to the river as the Baron spawns.
Man, how good is this Order team? I feel like even Bomber's got to be watching this right now and starting to feel a little nervous.
Palms are sweaty. Absolutely. They're on a tear. That momentum terrifies everybody, and they should be scared, Bombers.
if Order put this game away, they'll have gone through the Gauntlet with only dropping a single map.
Yep.
In the entirety of it, and that is just such an
It's
insane
shocking.
statistic.
It is shocking. Kled's ulting. They're going.
Going for the play. Spooks has already flashed out of this one. The big charge in for Swiper. Instant exhaust is down, and now they turn. Looking for him. He goes golden. Tally looking to rejoin the fight here, but it's already been denied. The engage already spent here from the Chiefs' side. Tower.
Dream.
Pretty low, and Dream's going forward on that Feather Storm, and they're taking Raze out of the fight. They just need to put this one away, but the second win coming in for the Chiefs. It's going to be a shutdown. Dream taken out of this one now, only looking for Tally on the opposite side. They just might have done it. Spooks is a little too low. Swiper on the last of his health bar, and Jake trying to knock him out of this one. Spooks tagging forward, going back. It looks like he's going to be knocked down. And into the pocket pistol, he's able to walk away, trying to dodge. Swiffer takes him out of this one. It's a 2-for-2 trade.
But the inhibitor is in threat as well. Claire should be able to push them away. They should be able to save the inhibitor, and they do. That was the most clutch play possible from Swiper and from the Chiefs. They needed that miracle to stay in this game. They absolutely did.
He gave them everything they needed right there, but they need to do it many more times, Rusty.
Yep, because all that did was delay the Baron.
And there's still super minions on 2 lanes at the moment, so this is going to be real rough for Chiefs. They are going to be making a
They've
beeline
got
for the
one
Baron.
option, Pyro. If they don't hit this Baron, then they concede the Baron. Raze is sprinting up. They will lose. They will lose Nexus turrets, honestly, as a price for this.
But look at the collapse, the pincer blade, the teleport! Tally's going for it! He's into the base, and now he's going to contend with Swiper. Chiefs, all of a sudden they realize the game might be up. They're going to have to turn for the fight right now. Jake has even joined in on the 2v1 effort, and it's just Nexus! Forget the fight! They're
Tally's
going to take the game! Swiper hops off the Scarl, and that will be the game! That will be the series! Order sweep aside the Chiefs Esports Club and set themselves up for a finals match with Bombers!
And it feels like a date with destiny here for Order. Very well-deserved run of the Gauntlet. They have completed the Cinderella story that people in the past have not been able to do. And they've actually put themselves into the finals against the Bombers next week. 3-1 against Mammoth, 3-0 against Avant, and 3-0 against the Chiefs. The unexpected run. They've managed it.
I can't believe it. 1 game dropped in 10. A run of the Gauntlet. As you said, a date with destiny up against Bombers, and I don't think the Bombers are going to be feeling too good about having to go up against an Order in that form.
It's something similar today as well. You know, the thing is, there is a week of reset, so the momentum does get halted just that little bit. But right now, Order, they have done what you would call the impossible when you look at their regular season performance. And they've put themselves through an incredible Gauntlet run into the finals itself.
I can't believe it. I mean, what else is there to say? Everyone stepped up and delivered. From the drafting, which has been brilliant on both sides of the rift, from Tally, side lane or playing with the team, Spooks setting up engage after engage. I could just run down the list constantly. It's been so impressive from all 5 members.
And of course, Swiper against his old team here. Well-deserved hugs coming out. Now, Swiper played his heart out, but at the end of the day, you have to respect the way that Order played. They were the best team on the day, and they've been the best team in the Gauntlet so far. But a devastating loss for the Chiefs.
It is. You know, they're going to be missing the OPL finals for the first time in 4 splits, and that definitely feels bad to break that kind of streak. Chiefs, honestly, we could have expected them to be one of the not guaranteed, but as close to it finalist teams. Bombers probably being the other one, and before the split, maybe Mammoth.
You know, the only improvement that I could hope to see from Order is in their interview. Hopefully we have coherence coming out of them, because otherwise they're pretty good.
I think you're probably right about that. Well, you know, we'll get to that one in just a bit, but, you know, Order, they are hotter than some McDonald's hotcakes, man.
We don't believe in labels at Macca's, like dinner or breakfast, so we're getting rid of them. Now you can enjoy dinner or breakfast whenever you want it. McDonald's all-day menu, available 24/7.
What is going on? I don't understand it.
Do you understand
Some things. This is something that we genuinely haven't seen before in the OPL. I feel like we have seen teams, Legacy have tried to run the Gauntlet, Sin, they've come excruciatingly close, but this is the 5th seed, genuinely like dropping a single map and making it all the way to the grand finals. Like, we genuinely have not seen this happen before in the OPL, and like, Order just look bloody good across the board.
You can't even talk.
I can't talk.
He can't talk. Let's quickly recap this, because we've got some interviews, we've got some very excited people in the room. Is Silas enough to auto-win a draft on that?
Oh, absolutely. I think that, I don't call teams out very often, but I think that if you're a pro team and you can't play Silas, like, you have to respect and you have to ban it. And I think that was one of the biggest disrespects in like a deciding game I've ever seen. Tally gets 2 flashes, level 1. That alone is enough to win you a game, like if you're a good team, especially when it's on key members. Then with all the priority that Silas gives you, they invade first blue buff. Then they invade second blue buff. And like, he just has control of the whole top quadrant of the map by himself as a solo person. And that game could have got scarier because he was 0-0-10 at one point.
Yeah.
If he was 10-0-0, like, he just kills everyone. And those kills were genuinely within his grasp, like, most of the time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like, I mean, you can hit on the draft, but I feel like over the course of the day, like, Order have just played incredibly well. It's multiple things. It's all of the different members. You can point to Tally over the course of the Gauntlet, and be like, man, this guy has actually played incredible. You can point to Dream, something like that. He's stepped it up massively, but just across the board.
Jake's Rakan, actually, like, he saved our draft. We had so many champions that we needed to unlock. And the fact that we found Rakan during the week and Jake has played it to like the highest level that you can play the champion, like, either means that we get such a good engage tool, which frees up both Tally and Spooks to be able to do different jobs. But also, like, it means that if they want to get rid of it, he has other champions that he still plays very high, Morgana, Braum. And I think like that was so big for this Gauntlet solo that was a pick that he was able to find.
Jake is secretly one of the best players in the OPL.
Absolutely. I've been saying for a very long time, like, he played on an Avant Gaming lineup that didn't have any stars.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, he was the star of that lineup. And he took Sin Gaming to 5 games, like, multiple times. And at Origin, every single year, like, when Victoria picks him up, he's able to perform. And not only that, off the Rift, he is genuinely one of the best teammates I think that exists in the OPL. He is such a good stand-up guy. Like, I am so happy for him that he's got this success.
Let's talk about Chiefs, though. Raisin only stepping up in this game, particularly in the early game there, taking it to Order. It feels like half of those team fights were everyone is on like 1/3 health, and it's on a knife edge.
This was a game that, like, you take a look at the gold lead, given that Order literally wiped Chiefs and aced them twice by like 25 minutes, the gold lead was still within like 2,000 gold. And like a lot of that was down to Quinny K in the bottom lane. Like, he had a huge advantage. Like, this is a Varus as an answer to Zyra Khan that we haven't seen a lot. He gets dropped in draft and picks that one up. And he was the one-man army that Chiefs like needed to get back into the game. And that was kind of the story of this series, I feel like. It was really a cohesive team, whereas Chiefs always had like one person that really needed to stand up. It was Claire on the Yasuo. This game, it was like Raze. He played the game one, Ezreal. This time it was the Varus, but they really relied on him. But one man is just not enough. He tried his best, but when a Syndra gets 10 stacks on Medjay's, can just walk at you, there's not much he could do.
But it was nearly enough. Like, he is such a superstar. Like, watching Raze play the game, he gets so much out of anything he plays. He's so talented, and I feel like he really commands that bottom lane. And it's a young bottom lane. Everyone, like, this is Ayla's rookie season. He's going to play so much more best of 5s. Like, I have nothing but respect for Raze. I think that he's like an out-and-out superstar. He's like legitimately probably one of top 3 like players in the OPL right now. And like today, he looked so clean. And like some of those fights, he was free hitting, and like you give him half an item more, he like wipes Order.
All right, a devastating loss for the Chiefs, an incredible win for Order, and at the desk we have arguably the MVP of the split and the coach who, after winning Game 3, walked out of the room and just quietly went, wow, it's Choo Choo's and Tally.
You don't get much better introductions than that. Gentlemen, you guys have just run the gauntlet. You've bought yourselves a ticket to the grand finals next week. First off, just for both of you, how does it feel?
Oh, like, I don't really like know like how to put it in words, because coming in on the Thursday it was like, let's play slow and controlled, like let's not boom early games, and all of a sudden we get to the Saturday and like we're the ones booming early games, and like we've kind of done a 180, and like whatever's working for us is just working, and like whatever.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think Bryce mentions that no one's run the gauntlet. Like we saw, like when I was a player, like I think a lot of pros know that like C9 especially in TSM were like known to come in like 5th, and then they run the whole thing, and then sometimes they win it. It's quite surreal knowing that like we're among them now. Like we have the ability to like run the entire thing.
You've joined some pretty legendary ranks now, and you know I guess I just have to ask, like, how have you pulled this off so consistently? Because every single day you've gone up against tougher and tougher competition, and you just swept away the Chiefs. Like, how did you do that?
I think I just put it down to really good prep. I feel like every single time we've come into the best of 5s, like every single pick or like scenario we've been put in is something that we've planned, and it always feels like we're playing with the confidence of knowing like this is their next move and stuff like that. So I think our prep and like the way that we trained coming up to this was really good.
I feel like the draft has to have a lot with that too. I mean, Choo-Choo's, how proud are you of the team taking the comps that they have been drafted to just deliver it perfectly every time?
Yeah, I think I'm so proud of everyone. I think everyone had like a good standout game, and when someone like fell down, like in game 1 or game 2, when Spooks fell down, like everyone did a good job. I was listening in, like built him back up, like Ronan in the last game, Dream. So everyone put in like 110%, and like we just played like a very strong team, and hopefully like we can continue building that into Bombers.
Yeah, I feel like for Order specifically, you guys have this where you're not always relying on a single player. It always kind of does go back and forth. If somebody does fall down, as you mentioned, someone else kind of steps up to it. Was that something you were building the team towards this entire split?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I think that we've always struggled to find like the core of our identity as a team, because we had 2 new recruits in our bot lane, and I think that like over the course of the split, we've been struggling and testing different things, and I think it was only up, as you said, like our prep coming into Mammoth, that we really started to like hit the nail on the coffin and realize like this is what we do, like this is what we do best. Like let's draft for this team, like let's exploit their weakness. So every single game, Mammoth, AV, Chiefs, like we just came in knowing what we were going to play, and we were confident in ourselves.
All right. Well, you got one final boss ahead of you, Tally. You got anything you want to say to Bombers?
Well, like specifically, like I'm really happy to play against Vic and Rogue, because like they left us at the beginning of the year, so it's really I'm really happy that I get to verse them in the finals, because like I'm happy for them for their success, and happy that I can also get revenge on them. So like specifically to like Vic, like don't launch me in bot lane.
All right, that's it. Congratulations once more to Order for sweeping the Gauntlet going into that final match. Let's send it back over to the couch to close us out.
I mean, at this rate, Order want finals tomorrow, right? Like, you want to build on this feeling.
Yeah, I wouldn't say no if Riot offered it to me right now. I would say keep the momentum rolling, I think. But I keep going back to it. I don't know whether you can figure this out, because this is a team playing good League of Legends. So as long as we stay, grounded and level-headed, I think that this is something you can continue. And it's not like the Bombers are sitting there with a notepad going like, okay, we need to ban X champion, and they do, this funky level 1, and it's getting them tons of advantages. Like, Order's just playing well at the moment. I think, if they can keep that consistent form, they have a shot versus Bombers, and that's all you can ask for going into a grand final.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like this is now the reality of all the hypotheticals we talk about running the Gauntlet. I think Order have so many advantages. You see a couple of the conversations happening on social media, like, why do you think people are so successful in like getting from 5th like further up? And it's a multitude of reasons, and like every best of 5 develops its own little like in-house meta. And now Order, for a region that has just moved to best of 1, we don't know who is a good best of 5 team, because everybody has changed. Now Order is a good best of 5 team. Bombers, we have absolutely no idea what they're going to look like. We haven't seen them play League of Legends for a week. Like at the back end of the split, like people were pointing to different things, and you really just don't know what to expect. Whereas Order are now just a very scary known quantity in a format that nobody else has practiced.
Do you feel like Order are finding some of their success due to the fact that it feels like they're not playing in a finals mentality? They're not playing, like, they're getting those results, but they seem to be playing calm. They seem to be playing level-headed. It's like it's almost like it's a scrim as opposed to feeling that immense pressure of the Gauntlet.
I would say yes. And the 2 players I would point to specifically, it's easy for me because I have the personal experience, but Spooks and Swiffer, when you look at their Gauntlet run last time, I remember this one play where like Spooks is on Olaf, and I just see him running into his death, and I'm like, he's freaking out. Like, he's like, I need to do this now or we're going to lose the game. And this is completely differently. Like I was saying upstairs, like there's all these little interactions, and when you take a player out of a competitive environment and put them in solo queue, they get to play with music, they get to do their own stuff. They hit it every single time. They're hitting all these things every single time in a competitive game where they're playing for a final spot. Like, the pressure doesn't seem to be there, and it shows.
And I think that, the one thing I will say is that Order are playing comps without clocks. they're playing things like Silas that just get better as the game goes on. Like a 16-second ulti when you can have all 5 of their ultis. What a ridiculous champion. Please nerf him into the ground after next week. Vladimir doesn't have a clock. Xayah doesn't have a clock. These are all champions that as long as they're accruing gold and advantages, like they're always going to be strong in the game. And I think that, that also allows you as a player to change your mindset because it's like, hey, we missed that punish. Like, it's not a big deal. They're going to make a mistake in 5 more minutes and we're still going to be strong there. When if you do play some comps that are on the clocks, and Order's been guilty for this throughout the year as well, it can feel bad when the window starts closing and you start getting desperate.
And Jake, it basically goes without saying that this Gauntlet run is not indicative of how the Chiefs are, who at times look like the best team in the OPL.
Yeah, absolutely. I have so much respect for the Chiefs organization, was a part of it in 2014, obviously, had helped them throughout like so many years. And, for people like Swiper and Raze, this one's going to be a real kick in the stomach because I know how competitive they are and I know how much they want it. But this is a team that brought in 3 new players, a rookie, only, in my opinion, still super young jungler, even though he's not that young as a person because hasn't been around that long. And I think they will get better. I think that this is not the best we've seen them, even though they were the best team in the OPL for a part of this split. So, it's going to feel like terrible right now, to be honest. But I have so much confidence that they have the support infrastructure to bounce back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like for a couple of the individual players, you mentioned only, he is someone that has really come onto this roster and I think look completely different than we've seen him in the past. And I'm a support main, I'm hella biased, but Ayla is just incredibly impressive.
Ayla is the business.
He's come into this, to the OPL, hearing all the rumors about off-season or whatever, he was, very hot property. And people were like, this guy is going to be good, and you see that why. This is his first rookie split. He has played the OCS before, but he just looks individually very good. He's making good team plays. He's not coming out just doing his stuff. It's a little bit of a mix of everything, and this is the kind of player you look at and you're going to be like, he is going to be a superstar, given some time.
Absolutely. Well, Order take out Gauntlet day number 3, and in a fashion that none of us predicted, because if you look at the tips, none of us saw the 3-0 clean slate wipe.
Nah. Not a single one. Every single thing is wrong.
Everything is wrong there. Technically, there's 2 people who are correct there, but no one gets the numbers, and apparently numbers are the only thing that matters in this stupid game.
How remarkable is it that a team that got into Gauntlet on head-to-head has just gone 9-1.
Yeah.
And swept a team that they were 0-3 against, and swept a team that they were 1-2 against. And the one game they won, they played Vayne mid for some reason. I think you can literally chalk that victory up to that weird pick in the mid lane. To me, that's honestly just blown my mind that Order have been able to elevate to that standard because you were right. At the start of this week, I was like, whoever wins is just going to lose to Chiefs and we're going to have a Chiefs-Bombers final and it's going to be a great final. Now, who knows?
Yeah. Absolutely, 100% agree across the board. Order, you said the word elevate, and I feel like this is it. It is not their opponents underperforming. This is an Order that we just haven't seen all year in the last couple of years. For as long as they've existed, this is the best League of Legends they've been playing. And to go up against a team like Bombers that have only dropped so few games in the OPL so far, I feel like the final is going to be a cracker.
Absolutely. I don't think any of us saw this coming, and we could not be more excited about it. We are heading into Grand Final weekend next Saturday. It all starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, there is a viewing party happen because no one should be watching this alone, most of all Jake. But if you want to hang out with like-minded people who just want to see an insane, I'm going to say 5 games.
5 games. I want 5 games.
I want 5 games.
Yes.
If I have one complaint about this weekend, it's that we're finishing at 6:30 every night. The games are just over.
Get back on track. Come on. Where is it?
There is a viewing party. It has been held by the Summoner Society. Head to ost.lollysports.com to find out more information. Send Order your love. Send Chiefs your love. Send everyone your love. Hold the people you love close to you right now because you don't know what's going to happen next week. Anything could happen. As Order have shown, all cards are on the table. Everything could be burnt. Imagine the transitions that Pyro's going to have to throw to the McDonald's, who we thank you very much for sponsoring us during this incredible Gauntlet week. We cannot wait to see you guys here next week for the grand final of Split 1 of the 2019 OPL.